guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my portable infusions through my PICCline. So just a disclaimer, this is not an instruction tutorial. I am not a medical professional. This is just me explaining how I set mine up. So first you want to make sure that your workspace is clean, that you've wiped off the table that you're going to be using, and that you've washed your hands. So even though I've washed my hands, I use this medical hand sanitizer. So next, I take out my PICCline from underneath of its sleeve. I unclamp my line. And then this is a personal preference of mine, or not everyone does it this way, but I actually thread the tubing up my sleeve so it comes out the front of my shirt like this. If the tubing were to get pulled, it pulls on your shirt before it actually pulls on your line, so it has less of a chance of getting injured or damaged or pulled or anything. So I personally feel safer like that. So I've unclamped my line, so now I need to put on my gloves. Take an alcohol swab. Take off the cap, and then clean the end of the tubing. Then you take a saline flush to flush the line, to flush all of the heparin that's currently sitting in there. You just flush it all out. And also to make sure that the line is working and is safe to use for your infusion. I personally just leave this hooked up rather than having the end hanging, so I personally just leave this. Then you get out your tubing. Open it up like this. I always clamp the tubing because when you spike the bag, if it's not clamped, air will start flowing into your bag, and because I use a pump and it's portable, the bag is sealed so that there's no air, so that it does not have to be upright. I keep it upright, but it doesn't have to be upright. So that way, I have to always remember to clamp it, otherwise air goes in and then it's no longer safe to be lying flat. So find your two ends of the tubing. So this piece is what actually goes into the pump, and there's a little plastic piece that you have to twist off, and it's easiest if you just do it now. Then it's time to spike the bag. So you take your bag, and this is just plain saline. And you have to spike the bag, and you have to make sure you're staying very sterile as you're doing this. Okay, and since we clamped the line, no air has gone into the bag. So now that it's spiked, I'm just going to lay it back down. So now I'm going to put the tubing inside of the pump. You always want to make sure that your pump has enough battery life so it doesn't stop in the middle of an infusion. So I just replaced the batteries in this before I turned on the camera. So mine is all charged up and ready to go. And this is a PICCline medical pump, and it's their portable pump, so it does not have to be plugged in. So there's a few little pieces that you have to attach into there, that they just slide right in. Close that down. Turn on your pump. And then it's going to beep a few times, and then if it's ready, if it's good, system okay. So it's ready to use, and it says the power source is full. So that's good. So then you just go through the settings, and then you press prime. So you're going to hold down the prime button until the fluid reaches the end here. And make sure that you unclamp this tubing, otherwise it'll beep at you saying there's an occlusion, which has happened a few times. I've forgotten to unclamp the tubing and it'll beep at me, but you just unclamp it and it's fine. And good. So now the line is primed. So now we have to disconnect the saline flush, re-clean it off. You have to clean off the end anytime, like you switch syringes or anytime you're going to use it for anything, and in between everything. So now you take the end of this, which has a little cap on it. Just twist off the cap. Screw it on to your connector. Then press run. It'll ask you if you want to do that, and then you press yes. Now it is flowing and infusing. So now it's time to put it into your bag, and you can use pretty much any bag, can be modified. Typically, if you're using a portable pump and if you're doing portable infusions, your insurance company or home health care company will give you a bag, but I choose not to use that one. I did for a while, but it kind of started to have a few problems, and I like my Vera Bradley bags look a lot better, and I think it's much prettier than just a plain black bag. So, yeah. So my pump just sits right in the bottom of here, and I have a clip attached to the top that I clip the bag onto. That way, if there was an air bubble, it would sit at the top and there's no chance of it getting sucked into the line. But even if it did, the pump will alert you if there's a big enough air bubble to hurt. But just to be safe, I hang it upright anyways. So yeah, the pump just sits, everything just sits right in there. Then zip it up. I can take my gloves off now. And now you're completely portable. So this line is just, it comes out the top of my shirt, goes into my bag, and I can go anywhere, I can do anything, and I don't have to be hooked up to an IV pole for the entire length of my infusion. So that was how I set up my portable infusions through my PICCline. If you're curious to the reason that I get these infusions, it's for something called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS for short. And it causes me to have a lower blood volume and low blood pressure, and it makes me incredibly dizzy. And so by getting the fluids, it bumps up your blood volume, and it helps with my dizziness and my blood pressure because it goes too low. So this helps bring it up to a normal level, and overall makes you feel much better, more energy. And also, because of my gastroparesis, I have a hard time hydrating myself. So this has saved me from being in the ER all the time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as I said before, this is not an instruction tutorial. I'm not a medical professional. This is just how I set up my infusion. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!